Yeah?
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 Yeah? What are you doing? Why do you keep saying yeah?
I don't know. 'Cause I'm stupid?
Are you watching wrestling?
No.
Okay, well, I feel like you're not listening to me.
So?
So, dude, you're my out. Look, I need you to... I can hear the wrestling.
The following podcast is brought to you by Hardcore Grooming Products and Red Sky Guitar Repair. The links are in the show notes. And now, let's start the show.
All right, this is Fuzz from RIP, and you're tuned to the doomtombpodcast.
Prepare to experience sexual magic.
This is the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things within the heavy underground, and we're going to go to a space, well, it gets pretty damn cold in the winter, and we have a lot to talk about, so here's the interview right now. So not too long ago, I was on Bandcamp and came across this band, really liking it, actually had me locked in for the week. Now, the name of the album is called Duality, and the band is called Zinc Vacuum. But I'm gonna test this for you. I'm gonna say this to you as a person listening to this music that you all know and you all love. Please go back and listen to this entire man's catalog.
Endless disguises confined in my eyelids. Now you won't find it. I hide it in silence. Stare straight into the sun's stairway elevation.
This stuff is absolutely incredible. I'm with the creator of this solo project called Zinc Vacuum. His name is, well, I'm just going to say it, Austin Barnett. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I am in the Sonoran Desert, as we all know. And where are you located?
It's like a small farm town outside of Flint in Michigan called New Lothrop. Kind of in the middle of nowhere, but
okay,
yeah,
so I'm wondering, is this isolationism in a bit? Is this what helps to create this music that you created?
I think so, yeah, because like my main experience with music is through like albums and stuff. Like I've only been to a few live shows. Like there's not really a scene or anything around me, and like I think like that's why I play all the stuff. Like there's just no one really to play with. Like
right.
Like Kevin Parker from Tame Impala. I know he like grew up in, I think it's like Perth or something in Australia. Like pretty isolated too.
Yeah,
but he's like an inspiration for me. So
absolutely, man. Now normally I like to warm up a little bit and get the juices flowing before we kick in, but man, it's called Duality. I want to get into it right now because I not only want to talk about Duality, but after I heard the rest of your catalog, I got to ask you questions about the rest of these songs because they have been intriguing me for quite a while now. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's kick off with the first track, Calamari. Now, like many other songs, and I don't know how you're going to do this, but this is definitely something that I want to see live. The fuzz that you create, the soundscapes that you create, but there's so much more. Like, Calamari? Are we talking about a squid? Is ink involved? Is it something that's like chewy, mild, with no backbone? I'm curious. What is the impetus for this song?
I mean, really, like a lot of the stuff I do is like it's just like rhyming. Like I try to rhyme as much of the line as I can.
Right.
Like I'll get like attached to like one line just the way it sounds. Like if I could, I would just say the same line over and over, just because I like how the words sound. Like they don't mean anything, but just the way they sound when I sing it. So like the line I had at first was like, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, okay, what rhymes with sorry? Calamari. I'm like, okay, that'd be a cool title. So,
Oh my gosh.
you know, that's what I do for like tons of my songs. And then like if like there's kind of like little themes that just come up on their own, like the first line, like swallowing food in high amounts, like let's all renounce, you know, like I don't know, maybe you could tie it to overconsumption or something like that, but that's not what I was thinking when I was writing it.
Okay. You know, because you also had the number 33 in this song.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional. Is this like some type of connection to Freemasonry or, well, you know, here's the thing, dude. So I looked it up. Personality traits for the number 33. Nurturing, devoted, spiritual, healing, inspiring, altruistic, creative, compassionate, and wise. Now, it says also said the master number 33 represents pure love. Its heart is made of nothing but bright, warm light, and the universe has trusted it to shine this light on humanity. The master numbers each have a responsibility to the greater good, and it's the number 33's responsibility to support and uplift mankind and bring compassion to the world. Now, as I'm listening to this track, I don't know how deep this went, but is there possibly a connection to a psychoactive substance that is involved with the creation of this song, or is there a piece in there?
I didn't really plan anything like the numerology or like stuff like that, but that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
So you mean to tell me that you're some kind of subconscious genius that picks these words? And when you mentioned the lyric and how you create the lyric, I really enjoy that, because you're not only creating the music, but the lyrical content, the vocal, is also a weaving form of musicianship, and it comes across amazing. I just think I honestly didn't know. I was like, is this in the middle of like a DMT experience? I really wasn't sure.
No, that'd be something, but
okay, fair enough. So listen, I'm curious, is this album, is it a concept? Is there a running theme throughout it?
like I guess if you really look at it, it could be like a storyline, but it's like very subtle. Like, but I did intentionally like connect the songs, but there's no like concrete story that I have. I mean, kinda. I don't know. It's very subtle though.
Okay, we'll continue, because I did feel the slightest connection from calamari into muff spatula. As I'm looking through the lyric, you know, anima, which according to, is it Jungian, I think, psychology, is the feminine part of a man's personality, or the soul, especially the irrational part of the soul, as distinguished from some other thing that I'm not really sure. And then you have other words like aperture. How do you say that?
Aperture, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like an opening or a hole or a gap. So what can you tell me about this track, and what defines a muff spatula?
That's just one of those things where I'm just playing guitar and like singing, and it's just a phrase that like came out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And I don't know if it's like a subconscious like SpongeBob influence or something, but I don't know. Like that song too is like the rhyming thing. Like just really trying to get as close of rhymes as I can, and then like a theme will come out. I didn't plan it like a muff, like like a girl like that. That's not what I was thinking.
I'm with you.
It was probably from like a big muff, which was taken from that, but like the big muff pedal.
Oh, the pedal. Oh god. Oh, duh. Oh my gosh. It's either that or, well, you are in Michigan, and maybe earmuffs, or the isn't that thing that people put that fur thing they put their hands in called a muff?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, like a mitt. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, exactly. Oh, interesting. I like this because I wonder if the substances created some of this, and like I said again, without you even consciously knowing of it. It's funny. I was talking to somebody else recently that I was mentioning the same thing. It's like sometimes you don't even know what is coming out of you, and until maybe somebody else can take a look at it or examine it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Absolutely, man. Now we're gonna go to the next track. Training purposes.
Calling Robert Spatula.
Hello?
I don't know what's happening with Robert Spatula. I'm hoping he's okay. I'm not sure. Run away, man. That's all I can tell. What can you tell me about training purposes?
So, this was a song idea I've had kind of like in my, I don't know, toolkit or something for a while. Like I had this one wrote before I made the Maple Grove, and I just never was able to get it realized or something. But
and a killer release, by the way. We're going to talk about that soon.
Well, thank you. But yeah, like this track, like I just kind of came into it with the rough idea, like those two sections, and like it just like in the moment, like it's like when you're recording, it kind of just like blew up, like with the strings and the piano and like all that stuff. Like I'm like, okay, that'd be cool. And then
right,
how it kind of like just slowly morphs into that. Like I didn't even plan that. That was just like an in the moment thing.
Very interesting. And I'm curious to, like, because what I have seen from your career so far, it's just been in the past few years, maybe around the past 3 years or so. Were these ideas and concepts like lingering around in your head for years, or did it just kind of come up at the moment and you're like, man, I just got to strike while the iron's hot?
Kind of a mix of both. Like they weren't something that I've been like working on and trying to perfect for a while.
Right.
This was just one that I like I have my files app, and like I'll keep like ideas in there, and like just trying to get ideas for the album. Like, oh, that'd be cool. That'd be a cool one to do. Right. So just kind of a mix of both of those.
Outstanding, my friend. Outstanding. So we're gonna move forward here because, I hear this thing about calling Robert Spatula in training purposes, and now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Robert Spatula, he's found and he is dead. And now I don't know, is Robert Spatula and Jonathan dead?
Jonathan's not dead.
Jonathan is not dead. Okay. So I guess the first question is, what can you tell me about Robert Spatula found dead?
So that track's Sketch that those. Yeah, listen up, but that's like I just had a bunch of like honestly like when I would go places like I think it was like at my brother's basketball game. Like I would just went into my voice memos and just recorded the crowd, and then like
Really?
I'll like add that in, like reverse it and stuff, and like
Right.
just make a cool like little interview or interlude. But like the Robert Spatula thing, like I've been listening to the Beatles a lot, like just trying to get some like fresh influence and stuff. And like I noticed they'll just like make up little characters and stuff, like just
Yes.
random names.
But
And like I
also,
think that's cool. So I just started
I
doing
feel
that.
like I heard a little Revolution number 9, like in this album, a little taste of that. All right. So Robert Spatula, we're having a problem with him. Jonathan's not dead. Jonathan's
No.
actually a paper boy, I think.
Yeah.
But did Jonathan kill Robert?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Here we are. This is the link. Okay, what can you tell me about John is a Paperboy?
So that's kind of like an idea I had. Like I wanted to make something sound like innocent, but then like verse by verse, like reveal something to like slightly make it more not innocent, I guess. Like kind of like
Almost
Maxwell's
sinister.
Silver Hammer. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, like yeah, kind of something like that, but like just a different music style.
Right.
But yeah, that's the basic idea I had behind it.
Now, I know you were mentioning that you're going down a little bit of a Beatles rabbit hole, as myself. There was a thing on, oh God, who did it? Was it the guy from, wasn't the guy from Lord of the Rings, was it? There was a Beatles, a kind of a documentary of sorts of them creating the album or creating an album, and it was on Apple Plus. Did you get the chance to see that?
I saw one of the episodes, like the Get Back thing.
Yeah, I think I'm like maybe 2 episodes in. It's kind of like a time crunch, and it seems a little bit of pressure with them.
Yeah, yeah. That was pretty cool to see, like all their personalities interact and stuff.
It really was. And to say like, like over all these years, you're like, oh my God, you heard the Yoko stuff. Oh, she broke him up. She broke him up. And like, she was kind of just sitting there. It wasn't like she was just a piece of it. Maybe she got a bad rap. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not really a big fan of her music. I'm sure somebody is somewhere if you like caterwauling. And I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying it's not for me. There's plenty of people that don't like my music, and that's okay. That's cool. All right. So is there anything else that you can tell me about John is a Paperboy? Is this a setup possibly for one of the future songs, or are we ending something by this track?
I'd say it keeps going. I'd say it's still connected after this track, I'd say.
Fair enough, because we do go into the next track, which is called Menacing Medicine. Are we going down the opioid route?
That's not what I had in mind, but I think that'd be a valid interpretation for it.
Okay, what can you tell me about it, brother?
So this one I was kind of going for like Nirvana mixed with like Queens of the Stone Age vibe. like in
Nice.
terms of the music. And I don't know, like this is one of those songs where I just like how the words just create a vibe. Like they don't really mean much, but just the vibe they create. Like, and like between the verses, like I liked how it was like, because like one verse is bash it in, the next one's cash it in,
Yes.
and then like ambulance and amulet. I thought that was cool. And like even just menacing medicine, like those two words sound very similar. Like if you're listening to it, it sounds like the same word twice. So I just like that, like just playing with the phonetics, I guess, of it. Like,
And it's so funny because as you're saying that, I was thinking that I'm like, again, not a nod to that Nirvana era, making it absolutely positively your own, no copy. And like sometimes the words are just there and you do what you want with them as a listener. And even that is, I just absolutely love it, brother. That really brings us into this next track, which I'm interested in, Oxytocin Vertigo. I love the rhythm that it starts, because it starts out, to me, like I feel I haven't been punished for the past 6 tracks or so. I've been enjoying the fuzz, really getting this vibe that you're putting off. But now I get a breather. I really do. I get a little breather, and and at the same time, I'm exhausted trying to figure the story out. And Oxytocin Vertigo has a special spot in the album. What can you tell me about this track?
I thought about it, like the connection to the rest of the tracks, and like I feel like it could be like from the perspective of someone who knew. It sounds so stupid talking about it. Like you just have to laugh. But like someone who knew the Robert Spatula guy, like grieving his loss or something. I don't know. But
that's absolutely amazing. That's fantastic, man. Because you're what you're doing is you're creating this story that, like, I mean, for myself, like I was intrigued. I had to listen to this album several times to say like, well, where exactly is he going with it? So you hooked me, brother. You hooked me in.
I think like the Vertigo thing might be like a Sabbath influence, because I remember like I think there was like a company called Vertigo. Like they always had Vertigo on their records or something.
Impossible.
But I feel like that came out and it just sounded cool. I thought the two words looked cool. And like Oxytocin Vertigo, like that was another thing that just came out of like looking for exact rhymes.
Well, I can give you something that caught my eye. We have Treaty of Versailles is in this track. Yeah. Interesting turn of phrase, because maybe it was like I believe it was like a peace treaty. So in a sense, we're finding peace. But for this track specifically, and we're going back to what you said earlier, you said something in regards to the rhyming scheme or how it flows, and how you can sing it, and maybe you would want to use one phrase over and over. And I have that one for this track, and it's Epidermic Indigo. Fucking,
yeah.
Holy shit, are you kidding me with that track? Are you kidding me with that? Because like, I was like, that is, even though it's 2 words, it's a great lyric. And it drew me in. Now, for this track, is this possibly the end of a war of sorts, or is it possibly some type of rebirthing?
I think you could say that.
Okay. Yeah, one of my fave tracks, easily. And
Thank you.
and we're going to move on to this other track. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. Ubiquitous Dent.
The artist was always the beneficiary of the ubiquitous debt. No, Ronker Shankin did not say that this was a mere cataclysm of our eon century. No, far from it. General Ubiquitous led his grand stairwell down to the pool shaft. And upon arrival, millions upon, frankly, centuries, this has been sincerely your favorite. Thank you, Bill. Here's the weather with Steven.
Dude, what's going on with this track? Talk to me.
So this was just like I don't even know. I just like grabbed my phone and like I was just speaking into my phone, like just gave this weird rambled speech that just like I don't even know where it came from. Like I didn't plan it or anything. It just came out of nowhere. And like you think it's going one place, then it's like changes to another thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Apparently there's some new character, Ronker Shankin. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out who this person is, and is there an issue with them? Is there? I don't know. Yeah. Now, here's the thing with this: the glass shatters. I hear it shatter, and we hear Robert Spatula. What? What's happening? It hit me with a somewhat suspenseful sense of horror, in a way.
Yeah.
Not that it's not of a horror genre by any means, but it hits me of something where it's like, not only did I enjoy that track, whichever track it was, but I need to hear what the rest of it is because I want the end of the story. You know what I'm feeling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like I kind of tried to give it like a doom feeling. Like I don't know. Me personally, like I love stories that like have a bad ending, like that aren't like, oh, all the good guys won. You know, like I don't know. I think it's just more interesting that way.
You know what? And you and me both. I enjoy that. I like, if I see an ending, I really enjoy an open-ended ending.
Yeah.
I find that, so you decide. You figure out what the real story is. Now, okay, so that's the album, Duality.
Mm-hmm.
And fantastic. Now, I'm interested because it's much different than your Colors release. We got some space prog here. I could easily imagine the Colors release as a soundtrack. Can you tell me, how did the whole album for the Colors release come about, and what were you trying to come across, or what ideas were you trying to tell everyone?
That was like right around when COVID first hit.
Right.
And like that year I was like just graduating from high school. So like with COVID I had all this free time, and like I was always busy with school and everything, and like I wanted to, that was like my first like real music project I've ever done.
Gotcha.
So like I don't know, I wasn't exactly sure because there's no lyrics or anything, so you can like name them whatever you want, but
right.
I don't know, I kind of like the idea of like, I don't know, I was just thinking like what I thought it'd be cool to like assign each track a color and be like, what color does this track sound like? And I'm like, okay, this one sounds like this. this one sounds like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Tame Impala influence on that one. Like with the phaser guitars and even the drum tone and the synths. A lot of like Pink Floyd. Like I wanted to mix I love like Tony Iommi's solos from Black Sabbath. Like I wanted to mix those solos with like the synth chords from like Tame Impala. I thought that'd be a cool combination.
Oh, hell yeah.
And yeah, the whole thing was done on my iPad on GarageBand.
Incredible. And
Thanks.
you know, it's funny that like, I mean, you you picked my favorite color because I don't know why I am drawn to purple. I don't know why. And not only that, it was the first track off of Colors, which was purple. You seem to have a purple motif to the majority of your material. Is there something that you're drawn to with that color?
I just really like the color, to be honest. Like, I just think everything looks cooler purple, honestly. And I used to listen to the White Stripes a lot. Like, my dad always listened to them, and we would listen to them together. And like, they have like the red motif.
Yeah.
So I was kind of influenced by that to just do it purple, you know?
That makes sense, man. I mean, they have their whatever starlight candy looking motif.
Yeah.
I even I belong to the Vault, where I get the Vault subscriptions from what is it, Third Man Records, and oh my gosh, some of that stuff is so beautiful looking, and you know, that kind of brings me to something. Before we go into anything else, is there a chance that any of this material is going to see some physical product?
I've thought about it. I definitely want to do like a vinyl. I thought about doing it with the Duality one.
Right.
It is a lot shorter. Like, it's only 22 minutes long.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I definitely want to in the future.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool to do some vinyls.
I do have to say, again, for anybody listening, it's a testament. If you're talking a 22-minute album, and I'm like fucking, I'm enthralled. Like, I gotta listen to it over and over again. Please, if you want, just stop listening right now, and go listen to this album. I can't say enough good, which is not only for this album, but another album that you put out called The Maple Grove. And I thought this was extraordinary. It's life and death, and then it will continue over and over again. There's somewhat like a new age artist. His name was Michael Hedges, and he put out albums like that. I have to look up the album that he put out. I used to listen to it, but frequently. But it was oh man, it was a similar theme. So can you tell me what was the process for creating the Maple Grove?
Yeah. So during this time, this was like right after I had got out of high school. I was working at like this wood shop. I just thought it was really ironic because like we were in this wood shop, like working with the wood and cutting and everything, but then like surrounding it were like all these trees, and like there was like this woods I would go to on my lunch break and like play guitar and everything. I just thought it was like funny how like, I don't know, it's almost like the trees are like dying in the shop, and then they're like all watching it around it. I thought it was an interesting pairing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like almost watching a slaughter.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I have seen some people that have hooked up, I don't know, whatever the hell they hook up, some kind of electronic or whatever, to like mushrooms. They've hooked them up to pieces of wood, and you hear what the sounds are. Mm-hmm. It's kind of eerie in a way because you just look at it and it's like, dude, it's a fucking tree. And what does it have? Yeah. But there's a life force within everything, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, as I was hearing the Maple Grove, I'm like, yeah, man, this is, like, when you go outside, even just to go outside, man, just take a look at something and just wonder at it for just like a minute. Because there's so much wonderment in life, and the Maple Grove album really like reminded me of that. And so full disclosure, here's what I do. So I take a hit or whatever, and I listen to the album, and I get what I get out of it, and then my dog is like usually at my feet, and I'm like, all right, buddy. Well, his name is Jack, but I'm like, all right, Jack, you ready to go out? And we go out, and it's just like, yeah, man, just kind of looking around. It's kind of amazing, and I'm getting this vibe that maybe you were feeling that similar experience.
Yeah. Honestly, it was exactly that. Just like, whoa, like these trees are all alive. I guess, I don't know, just like looking closer, I guess. And it was interesting too, because like the area I was in, it's like Maple Grove Township, so like, that's why it's called the Maple Grove.
Right.
Just because that's where the woodshop was, and there's just like all these weird connections. So I'm like, I'm just gonna roll with that, I guess.
I love it, man. And we have to move on to something different. And I normally, honestly, I would probably just kind of end the interview here, but we got to talk about this other release, because I got way too many fucking notes, to be honest with you. The single series. So I like this. You put out a bunch of singles, and then you put it out as a complete project. Do you mind?
Yeah.
Do you have the time? Can we go over some of them?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
Right on, brother. All right. So Temperature is what we kick off with. Spacey vocals. Period. Is this possibly something about the valuelessness of the current education system and climate change? I wasn't really quite sure.
The whole song's very cynical, like, and almost like narcissistic sounding. Like, I'm right, I know this stuff's all wrong, but like, yeah, but kinda, yeah.
Okay, fair enough, my friend. I appreciate that, and we're gonna continue. And I apologize if I'm taking up a bunch of your time, but I really just,
No,
it's
not
almost
at
like
all.
I'm almost kind of purging. I'm getting this out because really enjoyed this album as well. Liminality. Now, the definition is the transitional period or phase of a rite of passage during which the participant lacks social status or rank, remains anonymous, shows obedience and humility, and follows prescribed forms of conduct, dress, etc. Is this a continuation of the thoughts in Temperature?
I think it could be. Like, I didn't really plan it like that, but like, I feel like just how things were for me at that time period, I feel like they kind of just go together based on like what was happening to me around that time, I guess.
You were feeling it, man. I could see it in the lyrics. You were feeling whatever was happening.
Yeah, like just a lot of like isolation, and like even that one's kind of doing like the word thing too, like trying to get close rhymes, but it does kind of get more like, yeah, it's kind of both of that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. And we're going to move on to Lizard Brain.
Yeah.
Definition of this. Many people call it the lizard brain because the limbic system is about all that a lizard has for brain function. It is in charge of fight, flight, feeding, fear, freezing up, and fornication. Oh, that was nice alliteration right there. The sympathetic. Hey, lyrics right there. Sympathetic nervous system is engaged, and I still, honestly, personally, I feel like it's connected to the first two songs. Then it switches at somewhere around this, I don't know, 250 something mark or whatever. I forget. But to this like Hendrix like solo.
Yeah.
This Jimi Hendrix like solo. And I got to be honest with you, man, because Hendrix did this, I love the split in the headphones. What can you tell me about Lizard Brain?
Yeah, that's cool that you like that Hendrixy part. Like, that almost wasn't even in there. Like, that was just me, like, just noodling around on, like, testing out, like, where the mics were and everything. And, like I just recorded drums and, like, okay, the drums sound cool. Let's try adding bass and everything. Like, it wasn't even wrote. I'm like, okay, this actually sounds pretty cool, so let me just put it at the end of the song. Yeah, like, Lizard Brain, there was this one girl that I used to work with, and, like, she, like, got a lizard or something, and, like, I liked her a little bit, and I thought it was just, like, an interesting combination. Like, I just connected that with, yeah, she had a lizard, and then the Lizard Brain part.
Okay, Austin. So you know, I gotta ask the question, man. Anything happen?
No.
Is it you still got a little bit of the hots for her? Or?
No, I don't work there anymore. I haven't seen her in a while, but
Fair enough. I'm sure she's pining after you. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I almost guarantee it. All right, man. Interesting. All right, so we're gonna move forward, just for the sake of comfort. Oh, look at that comfort. Comfy web. Look at that. I got this feeling like it's the relationship where the comfort is unequivocally intoxicating, yet you feel it's wrong. And on top of that, you're absolutely right. It is wrong. Or the song could just be about sex. I don't know. What can you tell me about Comfy Web?
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you were saying. Like, just something that feels good in the moment, but, like, you know it's bad for you. Like, I thought it was interesting, just like, oh, this web feels, like, so nice and soft, but, like, it's a spider wrapping you up to eat you. Like, you know, it could be a relationship, like a bad relationship, or drugs, or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, just the listener just takes it for whatever they want to take it as, really.
Yeah.
Would there, is there a chance that a lizard would be involved? All right, fair enough. We're gonna move forward to this next track, the Ostrich Files, and this is another one where I'm like, I don't know where your brain's at, man, but what's the old man phrase? It's like, I like the cut of your jib, because the ostrich has knowledge. This is my interpretation, by the way. The ostrich has knowledge without it being shoved down its throat, because it buries its head in the ground. Like, it doesn't get affected by outside influence. Therefore, it can come to its own logical conclusions. What can you tell me about this track?
So I just want to point out, like, there's been multiple people that have done that, but, like, so many people have called it the Ostrich Files, but it's like the ostrich flies. Like,
oh shit. Oh, hold on a second.
So many people have done that. I don't know.
I'm so sorry. Wait a minute.
No, you're fine.
Hold on. Wait, the ostrich. Oh, fuck me raw. Jesus Christ. Oh man, I am so sorry. You know what? It's old man eyes, man. I'm looking at it with old man eyes, but okay.
No, but it's not just you. Like, there's been multiple other people that have done that, and, like, I don't know if it's because ostriches don't fly or something, and like your brain just like rejects it, or
wow. See, dude, again, you're going with shit that it's like, I don't know what you're doing subconsciously, man, but you're creating something that's not ordinary. It's extraordinary. It's that little something extra. What was that? That might have been the movie Waiting. I'm not sure. It was a cheesy movie. It's not important. Okay, please talk to me about the track.
So originally it was like, I'm like talking about like religion, like the first two verses, it's like burn for eternity, and then paradise guarantee. So then like I kind of went off of that and like made the ostrich like some mythical flying ostrich that like knows everything. I don't know. I feel like, because like a lot of the songs on this album have like a religious connection, and it's just like the area where I am, like most people here are pretty religious, and
okay,
like, that's fine, but like I'm personally not. So like it's just like I feel like that's a pretty big influence for like a lot of the songs on this album, just like take something religious and like making it into another thing.
Are you looking at the people that are religious as, are you like in some kind of journey where you're like, why are you doing this?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I get you, man. It's interesting to see, especially with faith, where people sometimes don't even know. They're like, what are you? I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Well, why? Was it choice, or was it just because, well, your parents were, so you are? Well, it's not a genetic trait. So yeah, I you know what, honestly, yeah, thank you, because I wrestle with that too, and I see it, and I'm like, but why? But why are you drawn to this? And yeah, man, that makes total sense. And I gotta tell you, honestly, if I saw an ostrich flying, I'd get the fuck out of the way, because it's a rather large bird. And have you ever seen anybody cooking an ostrich egg? I mean, it's fucking huge.
Oh yeah, those are huge.
Oh, it's insane. We're gonna move on though, because we're gonna go to Nova in Spanish, I guess. Yeah, and what I wrote for this was, give me this vibe. Give me this vibe. I want this. I love this. You're showing off the guitar skills, but it's more than that. It's a lot more than that. And I feel that at times grooves can be legendary, and they will carry you for years and years. And when it hits, you know, this is one of those songs where I feel the vibe, I get the groove, and there's stuff that I will hum when I'm at work or whatever, and it's stuff that I heard 40 years ago or whatever. It still resonates. There's something about certain syncopation, certain beats, certain vibes, certain chords. What can you tell me about No Go?
So like the words, like these are just like honestly kind of scratch vocals where I'm just like this is what I'll do when I write songs, just like say stuff like that. Like it doesn't mean anything, and they're just like placeholder.
Right.
But I just thought that they worked for this song, and I just like, they're like going through like a guitar amp and a phaser, and there's like tons of delay on it. And I just like the texture it gave it, and to kind of like contrast that with the guitar riff part.
Right.
Maybe like some like Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd influence with the synths.
Yes.
Like Welcome to the Machine or something. I don't know. Yeah, but like this whole album, like it was really me like getting into odd time signatures and like messing with that. Cause like this whole song's in 5, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's in, yeah.
I'm going to take your word
for
that.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
But
I mean, I just know what I like. That's really it. And I'm not some people can talk about the bridge, the pre-chorus, I don't know. I'm like the refrain. I'm like, that's great. I really should study music theory a little bit and not come off as such a moron with this. But yes, I get that. I got that a lot with this over Duality, where the singles, it's a lot of experimentation in my part or on my side, but I feel that I haven't found a track that doesn't pay off. So whatever your vibe is, whatever you got going out to the masses, I don't know, man. I'm there. I'm all over it, man. I freaking love it.
I appreciate.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of experimentation. Like none of the songs have like the same. Like honestly, it was more like me from a producer perspective, like messing around with different microphones and different tones, really more than it was the song almost. Like
Right.
it was a song too, but like it's more just seeing like what sticks and like, oh, I like that combination and stuff,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, we move to this final track here. Stairway Elevation, by far the longest track. Now, you were mentioning this. Some of these tracks dealt with the area that you're in and the religiousness or the faith-based people that are around you. I'm wondering if this has something to do with the ascent to heaven or another life. I mean, there's a. I'm looking up the lyric, and there was a place to it right at the end about running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly wish that this song didn't run out of time. I wish there was more to this song. I appreciate where it is, and I love it. I could listen to a 30-minute track of this. What can you tell me about Stairway Elevation?
This song is honestly probably the song I'm most proud of that I've made. Like, I feel like, I don't know, just like in terms of how each section like flows into each other, and this is one of my favorite songs I've done. It kind of does like the lyric thing where just I'm looking for rhymes, but
Right.
it also does like the religious theme too. Like it kind of just like I don't know, like it's not just like, I don't know how to describe it. Just like a basic sense of like, I don't even know how to describe, like spiritual awakening, just like
There
stuff
you
like
go.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like I said to everybody else, man, just go listen to it. Why don't you hear it for yourself? Hit up Austin and, tell him you dig it, man. And see what journey you can go on through these tracks. Now, so, oh my God, I know we're coming towards the end, and I am exhausted because I have heard Duality and I've gone through the Zinc Vacuum single series, which was, that was a journey right there. And we even have another track. We're not done. We got one more for you right here. And that track is called More. Thank you. And it's just a little more. Straight up 70s retro, stoner rock. I felt the improv. I felt it as like, even before I read your notes, I was like, I feel he's vibing, and then he's going on something and finding this space. And like there was a spot around maybe the 128 mark or something. It hits all levels of pure amp worship, which brought it back from the 70s retro sound right to current. And honestly, there could always be more. So what can you tell me about More?
This one's like really like sleep inspired, like Dope Smoker.
Sure.
Just like the droning riffs. I feel like it's a lot of like the first Black Sabbath album inspired too, like with the jazzy drums and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like it's honestly kind of similar to what I said about like the Hendrixy part in Lizard Brain. Like it's really just me like testing out like I just got these new cymbals and I was like seeing how they would fit in the mix and everything.
Okay.
And just like, yeah, the words don't really mean anything, but I don't know. I think it's kind of funny, like, because it's like the last single. It's like, should I do more singles or something? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I'm interested because, I've heard the singles, I've heard Colors, I've heard Duality, and now I'm hearing more. Is this the future? Like, I guess what I'm going to ask you is, well, what's the future for Zinc Vacuum as far as upcoming releases?
I plan on doing an album. I think I'm going to do a self-titled album to just kind of like combine all of the stuff I've done. Like on Duality, I made a point to not do any guitar solos, to like just focus on like see what I could do without guitar solos, because I feel like guitar is what I'm best at. So I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do with what I'm worst at. And this next one, I want to like combine like the melody, like the riffs, the odd time signatures, but then also bring back the solos and everything. So kind of just like to tie it all together in a way.
Absolutely. And then you can show everyone your superpowers.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Hey, man, I really appreciate you hanging out. Is there a chance that, do you have an idea of maybe, because I don't know, you seem to be pounding out material. Is this going to be a project that we're going to see in a few years, or is this something closer to maybe this year, next year?
I want to get it out by fall, really. Like
Really?
I have all the song ideas getting put together right now. I just gotta like finish the lyrics and then get it all recorded. And I'm wanting to start playing live and stuff. Like I've been meeting some guys that want to do that, and like I really just want to start going live too.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, that's going to be my next question. So, if you were to do it live, would you flesh it out as a band, and maybe how many band members would be in it?
I always wanted to do it as a 3-piece.
Okay.
Me on guitar and singing. I don't know. Like I know some people don't really like 3 pieces. Like they think it can sound thin, like with the solos, like there's not a guitar there. But I don't know. I honestly really like the sound of just a solo and like just the bass underneath it.
Yeah.
So I would do it as a 3-piece.
I've seen many 3 pieces in my day, and I don't know. You wanna tell me Rush was shit? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You want to tell me like the band Mothership doesn't have, sick grooves? No. You do what you want. I mean, shit. If you can make it a 2-piece, make it a 2-piece. I understand you got to flesh it out, and that's really interesting. So, so can people like hit you up, like maybe on social or something, if they're looking if they're in your area?
Yeah. Just on Instagram would probably be best. Just Zinc Vacuum Music.
And as you said that, and I've said that title a few times now, it makes me think. Zinc Vacuum. You want to talk about it?
Yeah. So I used to be called Austin Barnett in the Wall of Sound. It's like very long, and I just felt like, I don't know, I think it's cool, but I don't think it's very brandable. Right. And like even just talking about it, like it's just awkward to say like, hey, listen to Austin Barnett in the Wall of Sound. Like, So like I wanted to brand it a little better. So I just like wrote down a bunch of names I thought were cool. And I'm like, oh, Zinc Vacuum, that's cool. Like it's kind of just like Led Zeppelin or Iron Maiden, like pick a type of metal and then a word after it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really mean anything. Like, I just think it sounds cool, and it would look cool, like printed on stuff. And plus, like, there's no one else with that name. Like, so like when you type it in, it's going to be the first thing that comes up online.
It sure does, sir. It sure does.
Yeah.
So, before we let you go, and I, every once in a while, I'll just ask a random question here. So, is there any place in your area that is a spot to eat at that you think that it should be franchisable? Like, you think that the whole country should have this eatery?
There was a new Mexican place that came into New Lothrop called Don Felipe. I really like that place. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's other places like it, but I really like their food. And
so, Austin, brother, thank you so much for joining us, and we look to your new material. We're I think maybe in the fall that's possible. We don't need to really push it because you put out so much material already. And please, everyone, go through the material, enjoy it, absorb it. And Austin, thank you much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed doing this. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Cheers. Well, wow, that was kind of a long one, but it was well worth it. We went over the entire catalog, incredible material, but the album that is out now is called Duality. Let's hear the first track off of that release. This is Calamari. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Doom Tomb podcast. And if you can, please like, subscribe, tell a friend, follow us on social media on Doom Tomb or Doom Tomb Podcast. Ian from No Masters Audio, you can hit him up on Instagram. He does all things sound for the Doom Tomb. And would you like to talk about your song? Please do. It's doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. Get on and talk about the song. And if you want to hear more music like this, please head over to craniumradio.com. I have a show Sunday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen in for music, talk, whatever we get to. All these links, they're in the show notes, much like the links for Zinc Vacuum and Red Sky Guitar Repair, located in Scottsdale, Arizona, and Hardcore Grooming Products. There is a link for 15% off. It's Drop B, all in capital letters. So, hey man, do your beard a favor and head over to Hardcore Grooming Products. All right, everybody, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, probably at a show. Support your bands, buy some of that band merch, and above all, keep it heavy.